Mud looks quiet. It sits at the edge of a pond, under reeds and roots, and most of us read it as dead matter. But in the right kind of oxygen-poor mud, there is a hidden electrical life going on. Tonight's fact sounds like fantasy. Some bacteria can breathe rocks. The phrase is dramatic, so let's slow it down and make the process clear. When animals breathe, oxygen is not just filling space in the lungs. At the cell level, oxygen is useful because it accepts electrons. Your cells break down food, move electrons through a chain, and use that flow to make usable energy. The important idea is this: life often needs somewhere to put electrons. For us, oxygen is the final electron receiver. That is why oxygen matters so much. Now move down into waterlogged soil, river sediment, or pond mud. Oxygen disappears quickly there, because other organisms use it up and fresh air cannot easily diffuse through the wet sediment. A microbe living in that dark layer still needs energy. It can still break down organic matter, but if there is no oxygen, it needs a different electron receiver. That is where bacteria such as Geobacter become strange and wonderful. Instead of handing electrons to oxygen, they can pass electrons outside the cell to minerals in the mud, including iron oxides. Iron oxides are rust-colored minerals. They are not food in the ordinary sense. The bacteria are not chewing stone. The mineral is acting more like oxygen acts for us. It receives electrons at the end of the respiration process. So when we say bacteria breathe rocks, what we really mean is that some bacteria use minerals as part of respiration chemistry. Food gives electrons. The cell moves those electrons. A mineral accepts them. The next question is distance. A bacterium is tiny, and a mineral grain may not be pressed against the right part of the cell. Researchers studying Geobacter found that some of these microbes can move electrons beyond the cell surface. One route involves microscopic conductive biological filaments, often called microbial nanowires. Do not imagine copper cable. These are living structures made by cells, far too small for normal eyes, and they can help move electrical charge through the microbial world. In 2005, researchers reported extracellular electron transfer through microbial nanowires in Geobacter sulforeducens. Later work explored charge transport along these protein structures. That phrase, extracellular electron transfer, is the key scientific idea. Extra means outside, cellular means the cell, so it literally means electrons being transferred outside the cell. That is the part that makes these bacteria different from a simple sealed chemical machine. A 2019 Cell paper added another important detail. Some microbial nanowire structures contain stacked hemes. Hemes are iron-containing groups, familiar from blood chemistry, and in these structures they can help electrons move over micrometer distances. A micrometer sounds tiny to us, but to a bacterium, that can be a meaningful reach. It can be the difference between being stuck and reaching an electron receiver outside the cell. Think of the mineral grain as a landing pad for unwanted electrons. The bacterium gains energy by moving electrons through its metabolism, but that flow only keeps working if the electrons have somewhere to land at the end. In oxygen-rich places, oxygen can be that landing pad. In oxygen-poor mud, iron minerals can take that role. When iron oxides receive electrons, their chemistry changes, and that links these tiny organisms to the larger cycling of metals in sediment. This is why the subject matters beyond the hook. Extracellular electron transfer affects sediment chemistry, iron cycling, wetlands, biofilms, and environmental cleanup. Scientists have also studied microbial fuel cells, where bacteria pass electrons to an electrode. A microbial fuel cell is not magic. It is a lab setup that gives the bacteria an electrode as the electron receiver. The point is not that it makes huge power, but that it reveals how living cells can connect their metabolism to an external surface. That does not mean your pond is secretly a power station. The currents are tiny. The organisms are specific. And the science is careful. But the core fact is real. In oxygen-poor mud, Some microbes can harvest energy by sending electrons out of themselves and into minerals. They can use living filaments to move charge beyond the cell. In a chemical sense, they can breathe stone. So the next time mud looks still, remember what might be happening underneath. Food becomes electrons. Electrons need somewhere to go, and in the dark, some living cells hand them to rock. Fact: